Hello, my name is Exabu, and this is Unity of Command 2 Dragoon mission on hard. 3, 2, 1. Alright, this mission, as of all of the missions of the 4th conference in the Victory in the West campaign, is the most annoying one, the most tricky, the most puzzly. No, just no, this is kind of a sign of a very classic design for Unity of Command, and something I don't appreciate too much, to be honest. Okay, so let's look at what we need to do. First and foremost, obviously, pushing out all of that division next to Nice, because it's a prime location for your HQ. And by the way, I dropped that paratrooper division. It's not necessary to drop it to right next to that bridge. Actually, it's easier, probably, potentially easier for you to actually plop it at the location, at the next location closer, at the next bridge closer to Gap, because the AI will destroy the bridge, but it really doesn't matter too much, because in either cases, you will manage to actually get into Gap, and your American HQ has motorization, so yeah, you can use motorization and actually get Gap relatively easily, so it's not going to be a problem. So I'm preparing the bridge, moving the HQ as close to Grenoble as possible, and yeah, getting that supply hub. By the way, that location of the supply hub, pretty much perfect for everything you've got in here, so at some point you just drop all four of the trucks you're given in this mission into that supply hub. It's going to supply everything, it's fine. And so I'm gradually advancing here. Actually, to be honest, in this, I have played this mission through again, because I'm doing like the alternative history and the historic playthrough, just to cover all of the missions for my Kraken videos. So this is my alt history, so which means that this was the first time I actually completed it on hard, and so this is not perfect form. Sometimes the AI does weird things. For example, sending that Jaeger division into Grenoble, like usually it's empty, and sometimes just send it there, which yeah makes it difficult. But overall, look at what I'm doing with the eastern objectives, i.e. Gap and Grenoble, and effectively you can follow what I'm doing here. So this is like 100% sure. This is sometimes, as I said, the AI does weird things, but it's like that approach is what is expected of you, pretty much. Yeah, and you can't do much better than that. Okay, so, and past that, once you figure out all of that, so like the most difficult objective is actually Avignon, and because it's pretty far away from where you are, and the AI loves, like, doing all sorts of nasty things, blowing those bridges, which is not critical, but still annoying. But, like, to be honest, it's not just the AI, and yeah, as predicted, blown bridges. It's more about being able to deliver your troops where you need them, and by the way, you can't customize your troops, so you get what you get. And so it's not ideal. It's not ideal, it's pretty difficult. It's very likely to be the objective that you will be forced to restart the mission. That will cause you to replay and restart the mission the most out of everything here. Especially since you now know how to take Grenoble and Gap. And actually, the Panzer Division you're supposed to destroy, the 11th Panzer Division, like, the way to actually deal with it and force it to come out and play, sometimes it goes to Marseille and it's, like, pretty easy. But sometimes it just sticks in the area between Avignon and Lyon, and in that mountainous area, and it's very difficult. At least on hard, it's very difficult to reach that area. And so it's pretty much impossible. So the second, oh, by the way, turn 5, I'm trying to take Avignon, and I got very lucky. Not very lucky, not forcing him to retreat, to be honest. Yes, and finally, a very costly attack. Surprisingly not very costly attack, but I think the prediction was pretty terrible for that tank. It's usually, like, for tanks and across rivers, it's not wonderful. And by the way, here I'm using the emergency supplies using my HQ for emergency supplies, because, like, setting up a supply hub closer to Grenoble is pretty much is impossible. So about that Panzer Division, so sometimes it goes into this southern area near Toulon and Marseille, but sometimes, yeah, it's kind of like one of the ways to get it out, for sure, is being very aggressive with that American tank division. Because it's got the recon step, it's gonna take a lot of hexes, and it feels to me that the AI gets alarmed by the number of hexes that are being occupied around Lyon. sending the tank division as a fire brigade, right? So, this is your targets. Like, the biggest and the most problematic bits about that tank division is not suppressing it too much. Like, okay, so... because it will retreat, and sometimes, especially if it's holding Lyon, it likes to retreat into weird locations, and, like, there have been a few times when I had to restart the game because of that. Because I took everything was perfect, but the Blizzard tank just retreated into a weird location that I couldn't take by turn 7, or reach by turn 7. It's almost dead, like 2 steps left, right? So it's gonna die if I can attack it. But I couldn't attack it because it's way too far. And so this is, at this point, I got reasonably lucky with the tank. And yes, this is the frustration. Oh, by the way, I actually killed it. So this is the frustrating bit about this mission, is that all the things that you can figure out. By the way, Lyon, like, the paratroopers are really powerful, your tanks are really powerful, even though if they probably will take some losses on hard, but they're still very powerful, more than enough power to actually take that objective is not going to be a problem. And so the mission is mine. I'm already mopping up enemies, and and Dragoon is mine, but unfortunately this is something you'll have to restart a bunch of time, I promise you. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and until next time.